What's going on? How you doing? So, I couldn't let this one go. I was gonna save it for another day, but I had to hit it. Kobe Bryant run his mouth again about Shaquille O'Neal, talking about, well, he'd have been in shape, had he done this, we'd have won 12 rings in a row, I would have gone for the ride. No, it wouldn't have been quite like that. And I have to educate the Kobe addicts. And also, first of all, Shaquille O'Neal was a better player than Kobe Bryant, for my personal opinion. And I'm always going to stand by it because that dominance that Shaq had and that run with LA when Kobe was running sidekick, and great as Kobe is, Shaq was the last to three-peat as MVP of the finals. Bottom line, he dominated unlike so few. For all the long runs of LeBron James and Steph Curry, they have not three-peated in the finals. Never did Kevin Durant. Shaquille O'Neal is the last one. Tim Duncan didn't do it. You need to give Shaquille O'Neal his due. Next, Shaquille O'Neal went with three different teams to the finals. He lost with Brian Hill when he was in Orlando with Penny Hardaway, but he went with Phil Jackson, and he went later with Pat Riley when D Wade in Miami. Bottom line is, Shaq didn't need Kobe to do it. Kobe did eventually win with Paul Gasol, but let's look at Kobe Bryant when he talks to us about we could have if he'd have done this. How was it when Shaq first left and went to Miami those first 2 years? Shaq went to two Eastern Conference Finals. Were it not for injuries in at '05 against the Pistons, I would have been the finals against the Spurs, which would have been the interesting finals between Shaq and Duncan. That'd have been interesting. But anyway, he ended up beating Dallas the next year with Dirk Nowitzki. And Dwayne Wade was incredible, but Shaq was a force again during the playoff postseason run. Got robbed of MVP the first year in Miami. They gave it to Steve Nash. So again, but meanwhile, Kobe back at the ranch with Rudy Tom Johnson as coach wasn't even 500. And the sidekick of Lamar Odom's supposed to be his Pippen to his Jordan, it ain't turned out too good. Not to mention them first round casualties, that choke job against Phoenix, that 3-1 series where Steve Nash outplayed him. Wasn't until the Lakers pulled off one of the biggest hustles. That's why you give Jerry West give him props. Mitch Kupchak give him props when they traded Kwame Brown for Paul Gasol. And then the fortunes of Kobe changed because he was able to get two more rings post Shaq and have his fifth ring. But they lost that first series to Boston, and he did not look good in that finals at all. Not really. So when he says all this stuff, let me tell you something. You could have put Shaq with anybody the first three. No diss to Kobe, but it's a fact. The first three runs, anybody. Tyronn Lue could have been the sidekick. I mean, you could have put almost anybody on the side with Shaq. He was that unstoppable during that first three-peat. And when you talk about, I mean, who wouldn't want Shaq's career numbers? He's one of 10, he's 10 all-time in scoring, 4 rings, 6 finals, 3 straight finals MVP, all-star, league MVP. What would you go medalist? What would you not want? You know, I don't see no 12 rings. You could say probably maybe 5 or 6, maybe 1 or 2 more in LA. But they didn't have the depth. They actually had more depth when they got Paul Gasol, when they had brought in Middle World Peace later on. They had brought in more pieces. Shaq and Kobe, that was a great run at that time. And he did say that for his athleticism. Well, look, you can debate Shaq's greatness now. You ain't got to use it as a ring criteria. He wouldn't have to win no 12 to be considered the greatest. And let's be realistic. To some measures of sticks, Shaq could win as many rings as he won, and Kobe could too. That wouldn't. Some people will never look at them better than Jordan or Magic or Kareem or Wilt. It depends on who you're talking to. See, so these things are all subjective, you know. But anyway, I'm tired of Kobe running his mouth at this because the bottom line is I always felt Shaq was a better player, and Kobe had his not so good moments post Shaq. He had some not so with him as well, but he really, had he been dominant in post Shaq era the first few years and wasn't a first round casualty, and one of them years didn't even make the playoffs. And a couple of them years they were first round casualties. Meanwhile, Shaq had already gotten a chip. So sometimes you're just better off shutting up and not saying nothing because then it looks like you're still swallowing on old grapes. And Kobe has been known to dwell a bit too much. So I'm not going to give him no pass. I don't see him 12 rings. I'd have said maybe 1 or 2, but they would have had to make some tune-ups. But as I recall, Phil Jackson did put that book out in '04, and he said, I can't coach this kid. He did come back and coach him. And then let's look at this. Two things that are true about Kobe Bryant on the court. He never won without Phil Jackson, and he never won without a dominant big. Because his sidekick thing with Lamar and Meta wasn't bringing no jury until he got Paul Gasol after, and then he cried with Dwight Howard. See, so sometimes you just need to let things go as they are and be happy that you got what you got. But that doesn't change the fact Shaquille O'Neal is one of the baddest to ever do it, and could be argued as the GOAT when you factor in that they changed the rules for him. And for as great as LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant is, they ain't three-peated after Shaquille O'Neal did. Take that for consideration. Give me your thoughts and your takes about Kobe coming at Shaq again, or easy. Feel free to give me your thoughts or takes. Hit the like and subscribe. And when the bell rings, a new video. You have a great day. I'm out. Peace.